In this video, we will show you how to replace your passenger side main temperature control blend door actuator on this Ford Fusion. This will be located inside of your passenger side dash. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Open your passenger door. Along the passenger side of the dash, we're going to remove this plastic panel. To remove that, just go ahead and use a plastic trim tool. Make our way in between the glove box, and we'll gently start prying this out of place. A quick inspection of that. Along the back side, you can see several locking tabs. We want to confirm that those are still in good, usable order. These look fine. We'll set them aside. Continuing from there, we're going to open up our glove box and then remove this upper panel with the vent still attached. We have our plastic trim tool. Just make your way right underneath this area and gently start prying it apart. We'll set that aside. With that panel out of the way, it exposes two 7mm headed mounting screws, one here, one right over there. We're going to go ahead and remove one of them, but leave the other one in just a couple threads. Just give that a quick inspection. Let's go ahead and close the glove box, and we'll make our way directly underneath the glove box for two more 7mm headed mounting screws. There's one over here, and there's one on the far corner over towards the passenger side. Now we can get this mounting screw out of here again. Take hold of the glove box assembly, and we're going to have to give it a light tug straight rearward. It does have locking clips holding it in place. Find you have a hard time tugging like that, you could open the glove box. There's one side. There we are. As you pull that down towards the passenger side of the glove box, you have one electrical connector. We're going to disconnect that by squeezing in on the locking tab and pull it out of place. Now we can set the glove box aside. With the glove box out of the way, we have a clear view of the actuator deep down inside this area. Let's start removing the actuator by disconnecting the electrical connector. For that electrical connector, there's a red locking tab that you want to try to pull just straight rearward. That should not come all the way out, but it should dislodge. Now continuing just in the very center of this area right there, there's another tab. For this tab, you want to go ahead and press that one in, and then you can pull the electrical connector out and away from the actuator. Okay. Just a quick inspection for corrosion, and we'll set that wiring harness aside for now. Continuing from here, you have two Phillips head mounting screws. Right out here, pretty much out in the open where the electrical connector was. The next one is up and diagonal, all the way up on the top on the forward side here. Move the pair. Start getting this first screw right down on the bottom. Just try to grab that with a magnet. There's that one. Now we're going for the top forward mounting bolt. There's our next one. Now we can remove the actuator. Now looking at this, we have to remove the adapter from it. This is fairly simple, to just carefully take hold of it and pull it away from the actuator. And there it is, friend. Okay friend, let's prepare to install our brand new actuator. Let's have a look at the mounting shaft here. You're going to find that it has several splines that make their way almost all the way around, but there is an area with a gap. It's important to note that gap because we have to look at the adapter and align it and press this into position. Looking at the adapter where my thumb is, you can see that it has a locking tab. That's where that gap would go. Let's take this, we'll align it and press it up against the actuator. Press it in, listen for a click, give it a light tug to make sure it's properly secured. After that, you should have a small foam grommet here. That just slips right over this little tab. It's important to have that on there. Now, when we go to install this, we'll be paying attention to this tab and this area right along here, this groove. If you were to look inside the dash, you're going to find an area with a tab that looks just like this one, and you're also going to find a groove. As far as what's in the dash, you want to have this tab going into the groove that's in there. And you want to have the tab that you can see inside there going into this groove. We'll get this into the proper position and prepare to install it. When we go to bring this in position, there's a couple areas that we'll pay attention to. Right along here, you can see this small locating tab. And then you also have this white rod. Now that rod is actually the rod that will move by this actuator, and it opens and closes the blend door. Everything needs to be aligned here. After aligning that, start in both of your Phillips head mounting screws and snug them up. With that secured properly with the 2 screws, it's time for our electrical connector. For that, you want to line it up. We'll press it all the way into that actuator. Listen for a click from the center locking tab. Once you've heard that, press in the red locking tab towards the electrical connector, locking everything together. A quick light tug on that electrical wiring harness to confirm it's properly secured while we're still in this area. At this point, before we put anything else back together, let's test the functionality. Put the key in the on position and then change the temperature on your climate control. We should be able to see 2 different areas move here. We'll have that white rod that's part of the adapter that we had attached to that actuator. And then if you were to look underneath the actuator, there's a metal rod which leads all the way down to another arm which is on the HVAC box. Let's just confirm that everything moves as we change the temperature on our climate control. Okay, at this point I can see both of those rods moving. If you found that only one of them was moving, you're not properly aligned, you need to turn off key power and readjust the actuator. Confirming everything's aligned, after that you can reinstall the glove box. Let's reinstall that glove box. We'll start with the wiring harness. We want to make sure we press this in, listen for a click. Light tug. Continuing on, we'll bring this up into position, aligning all the mounting points and pressing it straight forward. Couple light taps all the way around here, making sure everything's properly secured. Let's continue on to our 2 upper screws here. Now let's make our way to the bottom of the glove box for 2 more mounting screws. The glove box is installed. It's time for the trim panel with the vent. We're just going to line this vent with the dash and we'll gently press everything into place. Couple light taps here, double check, make sure it's properly secured. Now we have our outside panel. We're going to align this and press it in as well. Okay friend, we finished the installation of our temperature control blend door actuator. At this point, we've already tested the functionality, but it really couldn't hurt to do it one last time now that everything else is back together. Aside from that, thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.